Module 7, Sketches for Indoor Murals. Eminent artist and painter Paul Cézanne has rightly said, painting, like any art, comprises a technique, a workman-like handling of material, but the accuracy of a tone and the fictitious combination of effects depend entirely on the choice made by the artist. After fixing the drawing sheet on the drawing board, I start my first mural sketch by picking up a pencil and drawing a freehand rectangle. After that, I draw a circle which overlaps the upper side of the rectangle and divides the circle in two parts. I start drawing horizontal lines in the rectangle from top to bottom randomly without any measurement. In the similar manner, I start drawing vertical lines from top to bottom within the rectangle in quick, haphazard manner without any specific measurements. After a while, I fill the small rectangles with pencil shade, choosing the small rectangles randomly, sometimes leaving one rectangle blank or the two rectangles without shade. Then I darken one or two lines with pencil in order to create a small triangle on the left hand side of the larger rectangular below the line of the circle. Then I start shading the small rectangles which are touching the bottom line of the big rectangle, choosing to leave two rectangles blank and one dark with pencil shade in order to create a composition of checks and rectangles. I repeat this exercise randomly, selecting black small rectangles here and there and leaving the other rectangles blank in order to create a design-like composition. To create interest, I darken some of the bands with pencil shade. In order to bring out the lower part of the circle which overlaps the upper part of the rectangle, I darken the outline of the circle with pencil strokes. I draw a smaller circle on the topmost line of the bigger rectangle in the middle of the larger circle, and from there I draw lines which looks like tangent rays emerging out of the small circle and touching inner line of the large circle. I darken some sections of this circle in order to create a pattern or a design which gives movement to the circle. Later on, I accentuate the right side of the larger rectangle with repeated pencil strokes. I repeat this exercise and do the same at the bottom line of the larger rectangle. This gives the impression of a raised surface. Now, to create an interest and an impression of raised shapes. I darken the vertical lines of the small darker rectangle randomly. This exercise is repeated to generate interest in the compositional elements, as some forms, shapes are subdued and other raised. This exercise is repeated here and there so that a movement is created and shapes start forming a design of sorts. I ponder for a while and randomly darken some of the darker rectangles in order to form a pattern. This helps in offsetting the shapes slowly yet steadily. I create an interesting composition where shapes are scattered in a rhythmic manner. Now the darker rectangles look as if they are raised above the blank portion. In a smaller fashion, after pondering for a while, I start creating interest in the circular pattern by drawing curvilinear lines here and there so that the composition looks balanced and an appealing visual interest is created. I draw the curvy lines parallel to the earlier circular lines. Now I darken the lower outer line of the last circle. This gives an added compositional charm and balance. Adjacent to the first sketch, I again draw a rectangle with free hand without using a scale, and also draw a circle which overlaps the upper part of the second rectangle. This time I draw crooked or zigzag lines around the lower portion of the circle parallel to the first circle, leaving two upper rectangular lines. I repeat the exercise after drawing a circular line again, which is almost like earlier circular line. I draw 4 to 5 horizontal lines below this form and draw vertical lines to make square or rectangular like shapes. This time the circular elements or small circles different in size are added below the bottom line of the first large circle to create a design. One or two curvy lines and a small triangle is created in this area. I start adding small lines to create mosaic like irregular shapes which form interesting patterns and carefully thinking about repetition of circular or linear shapes. I keep adding such shapes so that a design composition is achieved. Now is the turn to darken the lower line of the large circle so that it may look raised. Similar repeated act below this circle defines the crooked lines. Similar repeated act below this circle defines the crooked line. According to Canadian journalist, author, and speaker Malcolm Gladwell, the visionary starts with a clean sheet of paper and reimagines the world. This exercise accentuates the lower irregular curvy forms. As the circular forms emerge, an interesting visual impact is created. I draw small irregular lines with gentle strokes in order to create a human figure in mosaic-like form. I darken some of the upper line of the circle and fill the small rectangles below these circular lines here and there to generate interest in the lower portion of the composition, leaving some rectangles blank while the others are filled with pencil strokes. To create different textures and shapes in the blank spaces, I randomly choose to draw various lines in irregular shapes. I draw a human face in two blank rectangles. Again, lines are drawn to create textural impact so that an eye movement in the composition is created to generate visual impact and the monotony of blank surfaces is broken. One should use one's own creative impulses or ingenuity to create interesting and appealing forms and elements so that the design composition is both interesting and visually appealing. This exercise can be repeated randomly so that the desired impact is achieved and there is balance of different elements in the composition. I keep on adding darker shapes and divide the blank rectangles with irregular shapes, which give the impression of a natural stone wall. Eminent artist and painter Paul César has rightly said, painting, like any art, comprises a technique, a workman-like handling of material, but the accuracy of a tone and the fictitious combination of effects depend entirely on the choice made by the artist. Now, I draw a small rectangle under the two large designs to show the details of one of the rectangles by drawing a half human face and small shapes looking like leaves. In the next small rectangle, I draw two eyes and part of the nose and a tilak like shape above which wavy lines are drawn. The details in these small rectangles are for the purpose that these small rectangles can be incorporated in the blank spaces drawn in the two larger compositions by providing them with interesting compositional options so that the overall impact is pleasing to the eye and descriptive in nature and engages the eye of the onlooker. Another rectangle is drawn in which irregular curvy lines are drawn to break the monotony in the blank rectangle. This exercise can be repeated time and again by dividing the rectangles in different shapes and geometrical designs which are different from the earlier patterns. This gives energy to the composition of the mural and provides an overall cohesive and impressive impression. Many exercises to divide and design a particular blank area should be attempted in each time a new interest can be created, and a variety of forms and shapes is added to the larger composition. A student who wishes to design a mural can use his imagination in umpteenth ways to achieve compositional variety. Thank you.